Hey everybody, welcome. And today I have the fortune of uh, having with us Albert. Albert is an S30 alum, and you know, all the students say that they are going through a lot of struggles in life. So if I've come across one of the students who has really gone through extreme struggles, is I think is Albert. Without giving too much away, so Albert, tell us about your story. It's really inspiring one. Yep, go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. And first of all, I would say I'm very privileged to be joining back via that Zoom link, and feels great. uh, okay, yeah. So far, my journey is concerned, I had gone bachelor's in computer science from India. Then I worked for a few months in a startup, which was founded by a few of my classmates, and it failed miserably. And then thereafter I got the chance to move to US, and with that little experience, and honestly not so much in-depth experience and technical expertise, I just started applying for jobs, and my resume was weak. I was like a jack of all trades. I knew a little bit of Python, a little bit of JavaScript, a little bit of C++, but I hadn't gotten my hands dirty with nothing. Nothing formidable for me yet. So nothing was working out, but I kept on it. Did a lot of self study. I joined Udacity. Joined Udemy. I joined all those things. That thing didn't work out. Then I joined a boot camp, in-person boot camp. Uh, but I had also to work on the side. So I chose obviously Uber because it's very easy, and I could choose my own hours. I would work the busy hours and study the slow hours, and it was helping me out. But still, something wasn't working. Something wasn't clicking. I wasn't making a lot of progress. I think part of the reason was because I was just doing those what is that non-controlled kind of things and self-study thing. So it wasn't working out. So finally I lucked out with S30, and honestly, S30 is one of the best designed curriculums, and yeah. So if you follow it religiously, I think nothing can stop you. So I think that's what happened with me. I lucked out with S30.
Awesome. So, I want to take a cue from that. Although you struggled quite a lot, it was not like that you were a bad student in India. You were Google Summer of Code, right?
Yeah.
Qualifying it back home in India, and we
Yes.
knew that you had potential, right? That's why we offered you a position at LNB and also, right? So
Yes.
you were GSOC. You had been studying. You came into S30, but you were really struggling initially, right? So
Yes.
with this question, I want to inspire some of the students who actually struggle with at S30, and you know that a lot of students do struggle. We might not be the easiest of the course to follow. So how did
Yes.
you braved out? You were still very consistent, right? Whenever I thought that okay, he's going to drop out because he's struggling, you always came back, always came back, always came back. How did you inspire yourself, and how was that journey for you?
Okay, I have two things in mind. First of all, I had that desire from the beginning. I very like willingly chose this field because I knew that this is what I really really love. So this is the one thing that really really pushed me and did not let me give up. Although you know things were not as smooth and sullen in my life, but since I was really passionate and I knew that I cannot do nothing else, I cannot do anything else. So this is the one thing that always pushed me. I could always envision my future in this field. uh, yeah, that's why I kept trying, and yeah, they say that you miss all the shots you don't take. So I kept on shooting. Eventually, I thought some it will hit the goal. The second thing I think is, yeah, there's ups and downs. And I remember during the first week or second week, I wrote a long message to you and said, "Hey, Jaspinder, I have not studied those hard concepts because I have a bachelor, right? I have not studied those master level concepts. I feel like I'm drowning. I feel this and that, and I was on the like brink of I wouldn't say give up, but I wasn't feeling very good about the whole thing. So the one big thing that really helped me was your motivation. You told me don't worry at all. There's enough repetition in the course. There's probably like 4 times we're gonna repeat the same thing, and just stay on it and just trust the process. And those were really comforting words and motivating words for me. And I just believed in it, and I just without even thinking about the final product or success, I just trusted the process and your words. And those
Awesome.
things
Awesome.
helped me.
I was totally bluffing at that time.
No, but
All right.
yeah, those things
Yeah.
sometimes help.
Yeah. All right. Did you ever believe that you will be working with Facebook?
Before, honestly, so before S30, I mean, I had, like I mentioned, I tried Udacity. 5 years ago, I did Google Summer of Code in college. I did like this boot camp in person, so many things. So it wasn't systematic study. I didn't have like nothing I could call as my forte, right? I had a lot of scattered knowledge, but nothing like systematic. I keep using the word systematic because that's how S30 is highly organized and systematic. So before that, I wasn't I never dreamt about any big company. I just thought maybe I should sneak into some tiny startup or something and just get my foot in the door and then work my way up. But but the magic happened after S30. Uh, so honestly, I keep telling all my friends as well. And one of my someone from LinkedIn actually joined since I was like commenting on everyone, hey, go join S30, blah blah. I saw my level personally. I saw myself. My growth was like I felt like I was around 30% before S30, but after going through all that rigorous hard training, I would say I was like 75%, 80% of my own improvement comparing to my own self. So after that, when I was participating in the class. I was answering questions. I was asking questions, and the confidence started to build up. And one of the biggest thing is I tried to shy away from the hard questions on lead code. I was like, it is impossible. And so, I mean, just something. Someone is writing what?
Albert?
Smiling face and
Yeah.
what is that?
Guys, we can skip. You
Thinker.
looking thick. All right. We can skip those things and let's focus on the on this part only.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, yep.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the confidence builds gradually as I started with the easy questions, then the easy questions became really easy. Then I started doing the medium questions. Then the medium questions became easy. And eventually uh, things keep working my way because I was putting in the work and never imagined I would be able to solve the hard problems. And that's when that was a turning point. I was able to solve the hard problems, and yeah, confidence shot up from there. My and then I started imagining about big companies. Hey, maybe I can just crack the interview and get into a big company, get into FANG.
Somebody is spamming. That's fine.
That's a
Uh,
spam.
yep. All right. Probably I should not be, putting my the Zoom link on Twitter. Anyways, so Albert, one of the experiences that I want to share with everybody is how your questions became really great in the throughout the course, right? Initially, they were really basic, and once we started going through the course, your level of questioning or level of feedback in the class became really good. Uh, you know, and one more thing that I want to understand from you is after S30, you put in a lot of efforts not only during the cohort but after the cohort also, because I was looking at your PRs, you were submitting the PRs also. After that, whichever PRs you missed, you were submitting the PRs after that. So, how did you plan your things after the cohort had ended?
You mean like applying at jobs and stuff?
Not applying at jobs, but preparing for the data structures and algorithms.
Uh, After finishing S30, you mean?
Yes, after finishing the cohort.
Yeah, I think I had done most of the part with the most of the problems in the curriculum, and I mean, to be honest, I did not have to work a lot after my cohort. I was here and there. I was solving some hard problems. I, I mean, I followed a lot of channels on YouTube. I would, instead of watching celebrity gossip, I would just watch something that is like super hard concept, like, like whatever binary tree or like whatever hard concept that actually, I wasn't very comfortable with. So I was doing all those sorts of things, and I honestly did not have to work very hard after the S30. And one big thing is over the years I was building my LinkedIn. So I have like probably more than 5,000 like connections on LinkedIn, and none of them is actually like spam or nothing like that. I mean, over the years I've done so many things. I've been in so many communities. Just comment on people's things, and they would send me requests. I would, you know, all those sort of things. So what that happened with that, what happened is like I started automatically. I started getting requests from recruiters, and once that started happening, I was being reached out by recruiters. Then I started reaching out to recruiters even more. So I have a very like a big group of recruiters in my LinkedIn. So so instead of me having to apply for jobs, I was actually getting many calls. So that really helped. That's
Awesome.
how I took off.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I want to share with the students that as far as you might be thinking that how was he able to get the interviews? One of the advantages though Albert had was that he's a permanent citizen in US. So if he didn't have a struggle of that H1B visa, but he had a lot of struggle of getting the interview calls because he was literally out of work for 2 3 years. With that, I would open the floor for any questions from the students of S30. What do you want to ask him? You can either write in the chat or in Slack, or you can just unmute your mic and you can ask. Now, Raj, first question should be from.
Yeah, hey Albert, how are you?
Hi, Navraj. How you doing?
I'm good. So yeah, the first question is definitely like I'm like I just spent the knows that too. I'm kind of in the same situation as you were. How did you manage work and S30? Because I'm working 40, 50 hours a week and I it's really hard. How did you manage that? Because you told me you were also working full time while doing this.
Well, to be brutally honest, I don't think S30 requires a lot of time commitment. I mean, 2 3 hours a day is not a big commitment. Just the class itself is like an
Mhm.
hour and a half. Sometimes it's 1 hour, sometimes it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Other than that, you just need to spend another 2 hours. So I think just sparing 3 hours, if you're really disciplined, is not at all hard. If you're really passionate and if you really want things to move your way, I think 3 hours is doable. Even with the work. I mean, I see people doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs, so it's just the mindset. I think you have to solidify your mindset, and 3 hours is nothing. Should be able to, yeah.
Okay.
It is tough, but yes, it is doable. And I saw Albert, it was not the discipline that he didn't have. He initially struggled with the concepts because we are, S30 is not easy. You know,
Mhm. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
initially, it can little bit demotivate you in the initial phase, but once you stick to it, you go through that struggle phase, then it becomes more and more easier. And I have seen in case of Albert that okay, over a period of time.
Yeah,
Yep, go ahead.
yeah, I would like to add. So yes, so my fundamentals were actually not that up to the level of S30. Like the first day you started with like array, how array actually is stored under the hood, and hash map is also a type of array, the linked list, all those fundamentals. So I would suggest to everyone to take the fundamentals very seriously. Understand under the hood how the thing works, and what are the benefits, I mean, how the data structure itself work. So it will make things very easy in the, I mean, initially, like Jaspinder mentioned, it demotivated me as well because my fundamentals were not clear. So before jumping and onto big things, you should definitely clear your fundamentals with linked lists and all that, all those things.
Awesome.
Mm.
Next question. Anybody?
Hey, Albert. I do have a question. Yeah, I just want to ask whether advanced data structures are being asked in these companies, or like specific skills like Facebook. Facebook has its own platform language. So, uh, were those questions being asked on these topics like advanced data structure, or language specific questions, or it was general data structure interview?
Okay, so I think this question was also asked in the previous session we had with Google, like our Googler. Yes, so I think language itself does not matter at all. Uh, During the interview, they asked me to code in any language of my choice. So they don't focus on the language, but they focus on your understanding and problem solving, and just just that thing. So I think. Yeah, just knock that off. Language is not a problem. Any language of your choice, just try to be, super good at it. So yeah, no problems with the language so far. Advanced like data structures you mentioned, I don't think they go into super advanced stuff unless it is the requirement of the role. Uh, because obviously they know if you are at a certain level, you can learn things, you are coachable, right? So they will, I think, 90% of the cases they will just ask you the types of questions which are being asked at S30, and that was my personal experience as well. uh, so far, like 5 to 10 interviews I had all those years, even in like coding assessments, nothing super specialized or specific. All like S30 or lead code type of questions were asked.
Awesome question.
So,
Thank you, Sachin. Yeah, go ahead, Navraj.
sorry, yeah, to follow up on that. So the questions you got were like, would you say you were confident in solving? Like you were like, oh, I've seen that. I've seen this the kind of thing before. After solving 300 questions, would you say that, or would you say like, oh, this is new. I don't know about what's going on, and you did it from scratch?
Well, I wasn't like super obvious, like, hey, I've solved this question 5 times or something like that, but I was just like subtle. Oh, like Jaspinder mentioned, I think I've seen something similar or something like that, and you don't even have to mention that. I mean, to be honest, just go ahead, okay, and just I mean, the biggest thing you want to really do is understand the problem and
Mm-hmm.
understand what the interviewer actually wants, and that's all. And slowly and gradually, you just start showing your magic. Yeah, start coding. But one of the biggest advices I have is, um, I'm sorry, just what was the name of? I keep saying Googler, but I forgot her name. The one.
G.
Yes. I think a lot of things I'm talking about is similar to what she advised. So the biggest thing is in any interview, you want to communicate, you want to over communicate with your interviewer.
Okay.
Even explain why you're naming this variable this way, okay, why putting in the global scope rather than the, local scope, all those things, talk it out, each thing, and yeah, she mentioned that she was rejected because although she was able to solve the question, she didn't communicate. So communication is the key. You definitely want to over communicate.
All right.
Thank
Let's
you.
see who has the next question. Anybody? Neither I'll ask. How do you say so, grounded? You went through a lot of struggle, right? And then you got an offer. I've seen a lot of students, they are over the moon and they, stop making efforts. Once we were having a conversation, you are not done yet. Like,
No.
yeah.
Mm.
So how do you, and it is a big change in your life. How do you handle it on personal level?
Well, honestly, I think I don't think I'm at the pinnacle of success yet. I don't think I have achieved like the holy grail or something. I think this is just the beginning. There's maybe 10x, 100x room to improvement, and keep learning and keep exploring, I guess. I don't think I'm done. And this is just the beginning. This is the first step of the ladder to moon. Actually, I'm not on moon yet.
All right, awesome. All right, Sai has a question. I think it is more related to masters. Sai, so Albert didn't do masters, but with your experience, anybody who is coming new to US, you struggled quite a lot, but you were not in the masters. Then what general advice you will give to them apart from go and join S30?
Okay. I mean, I reserved all those things. First of all, I want to say definitely have a whiteboard, as Jastinder has mentioned so many times. It helps you organize your thoughts, and especially in bigger problems. Okay, I'll just go over the little thing I wrote.
Did you whiteboard the problem also? That's awesome, Albert.
Yes. So, for example, there were like tough questions where you actually needed to understand the recursion, and I mean, you needed to debug things and fully understand what is actually happening. So in that case, in those problems, you should definitely use a whiteboard. And what I was doing is on the side, I would have a debugger. Like I would debug on line 6, 8, 10, and on the side, on the whiteboard, I would keep writing. Okay, this is where my code is at, especially in recursion problems. You need to understand really what is happening. So I would debug and I would write, okay, this is where I'm at. Okay, this is happening. This is what I'm expecting, and this is happening. Like the you really need to go deep in that thing. That's how you really become good at hard concepts, I would guess. And yeah, the two things I definitely would want to recommend to everyone is a whiteboard and debug as much as you can if you are not getting to the result. Yeah.
Got it. That's awesome. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions?
Hi, Jaspinder. This is Lavan. I have a question. First of all, congratulations for the Albert for his job and everything. So my question is, when do you feel confident, like I'm fully prepared, I can take the interviews?
Okay, there is a gray area in that question. You will never feel like you are 1000% prepared or confident. But when you start solving the hard problems or the medium problems, and in the class, it's just been there stuck, or am I audible?
No, yeah, you're perfectly audible. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm so So what I'm trying to say is you will never feel 1000% confident, and you will never ever be fully prepared. This is an ongoing process. You need to keep applying and keep interviewing. Don't think that. So this is another mistake I did. For like 6 months to a year, I did not interview because I was feeling not confident and not prepared. So for about a year, I was just preparing. I was never feeling like, oh, I'm fully prepared. Never happens. So so what I would say is like, just think, yeah, you should just take the interviews, and don't think am I prepared or not. Well, another aspect of this question is, once you start solving problems, there's some favorite problems. Like my favorite problems were like verifying like alien dictionary, you know, and the what is a word breaks, word square, or like something like that, right? So
Yeah.
once, because those are challenging questions, and they're medium to hard or hard, something like that. Once you start cracking those shells, then you have a euphoric feeling. Oh, yeah, I cracked it. Once you start doing those type of things, you have some hard questions or medium questions, which and encapsulate a lot of concepts. Then your confidence will start building up. So that happened with me. Obviously, I was asking questions in the class, and another thing is like, a lot of times I actually knew what Jaspinder was asking, but I was not that confident. So when someone else answered the same thing, I was like, dang it, I should have answered it. I knew. So what I'm trying to say is, participate as much as you can. Don't think that someone will judge me or some. This is like family. So so ask questions which are relevant, keeping in mind the pace of the class, but ask a lot of questions. Participate. When you give right answers to the questions, your confidence will gradually start building up. Yeah.
All right, I'll take firstly question from Parul. Parul says, just wanted to know about your experiences as with mock interviews in S30, and how did you evaluate your performance and learn specifically from the interviews? Let me rephrase that question in the way she wants to ask it. Did you struggle in the mock interviews? And
Yes.
how did you come out of that situation?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it all depends on your preparation and understanding of the concepts and fundamentals and all those things. So eventually, when you just keep doing things, you just get better and better. You might not do good in like one or two or three interviews, but eventually, you start just feeling comfortable, just feeling at home, and yeah, yeah, then things keep start happening your way. I don't know if
Yeah.
I yeah,
No,
question.
yeah, yeah. So absolutely, Albert did struggle. He knows, and I could see his feedback. He struggled immensely in the initial interviews. But the good thing was that you kept doing it. That's what he's
Yeah,
saying.
that's the key. Yeah, just stick to it. Don't. That's the thing. Don't focus on the results as much. Focus on the process. Enjoy the journey. Just focus on the process. Keep doing. I just wrote it down on the whiteboard. You have to attend the classes religiously. You have to submit PRs religiously, and just clear your basics, fundamentals.
Awesome.
That will tremendously.
Does that answer your question, Parul?
Yeah, it does definitely.
Mock interviews are designed to feel you like a little bit, so that you start improving yourself even more. I'll take next question from Sai. He said that as you progressed from, let's say, the easier parts, he has not joined yet, so he'll come to know there are no easy parts that we are going to do. Even the arrays are we are going to grill everybody. So still, let me rephrase his question in this way that, okay, did you have any specific preparation strategy for different techniques? Let's say this is my different, I know, we know that you enjoy, let's say, BFS and DFS. If you were doing the alien dictionary, you were doing topological sort and those kind of problems. Strings, again, you mentioned word break, probably that was backtracking problem, but again, string based problem. So backtracking and BFS, DFS might be your favorite techniques. Which other techniques where you struggled in, and how did you cope up with those those things?
I think I'm like going in circles. Just like S30 curriculum has a lot of repetition. I mean, I'm repeating a lot. So just again, the fundamentals. Yes. What is BFS actually? Understand, fully what is BFS? What is the DFS? What is the objective? What are we trying to approach? I mean, what are we trying to accomplish? First understand the techniques. Like just go to take a reference book or watch first lecture if you want to go watch something on YouTube or whatever, wherever. Just solidify your fundamentals, and when you fully understand what your objective is, I mean, then things are clear. In the class, I would say Jaspinder explains really well. He breaks down the things. For example, in let's say recursion, you write the whatever the logic, and then you write the base case. So those are like patterns. So once you start recognizing those patterns, those just embed in your brain, and then you know how to tackle any problem with a specific technique.
Awesome. Anybody else? Any other questions? Lakshmi, any questions?
No.
All right.
I have
Anything that?
and
Yeah.
nobody has one.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So how does it feel working? I know you've not been working too long. How does it, like? Do you feel out of the place? Do you feel like, okay, I'm in there? I'm like, how do you feel working in Facebook as in like a fresher or whatever you
Do
call
you
it?
feel an imposter syndrome over there? Oh, I'm not good. Why am I here? What am I
Yeah,
going
yeah,
through?
that's yeah. Like, how do you feel that?
Uh, well, yeah, I think imposter syndrome is a reality in programming field. It's even the biggest of the biggest programmers. I've read their articles. Everyone goes through that phase. The reason being, this field is not stagnant. You have to keep learning. You have to keep growing. You have to keep seeing alien things which you have never seen before, and you want to understand and prosper in those things. So yeah, I mean, it does come to my mind sometimes, but I don't try to dwell it on too much. But instead, I focus on how things are done. I'm again huge believer of understanding the thing, understanding what is your objective and like what are you trying to do. What does this framework do? How is it like whatever what does this library do? Look at the examples. Look at the various examples. If you don't understand what is happening, then again use a debugger. Go step by step. See, okay, this line I got understood 3 lines. Then go to the rest of 7 lines out of 10. So once you keep doing that, then I guess your learning grows, and you should not dwell on the feeling that oh, I'm not enough, and nothing like that. It is an integral part of this field because you have to keep learning new things, new ORMs, new frameworks,
All right.
new language.
The next question is from Ashwini, and she's asking whether what was the best interview you had, or let's say, what is the best, or what is the most challenging one that you had, and what kind of questions, what kind of challenges that you faced on in those
Hmm. I would say this is by far my best interview with Facebook. The coding question, if I remember, it was not that hard. I had done some similar problems in S30, so I had an idea. Um, and yeah, I was able to crack it. But you also have to keep in mind, don't be super nervous, and don't put everything at stake. Oh, if I am not able to do, my life is ruined or nothing like that. Instead you should go calm and composed, and feel the recruiters are like your friends, and then you're discussing problems, and make yourself and him at equally at home, and then start discussing. Then things will start coming naturally to you, rather than putting everything at stake, and you know those sort of things. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So if you stay calm, then probably that brain fade will not happen, right? And you can think, actually think.
exactly. And yes, they did grill me. They really grilled me on the one round where I had they just needed to learn how in depth I know about the technologies, tech stacks, and how HTTP request works, browser works, all those things, IP address, DNS. So again, yeah, basics. Though those are really yeah, those type of things. I was a little on the back foot, but yeah. So you should
Yeah.
understand the basics.
All right. Sneha says, 1 week before the interview, what should you do?
Oh, just one second. 1 week before the interview, what am I?
How do you prepare? What is your routine, or what things you focus on 1 week before the interview? Is it the basics only, or anything additional?
Uh, I would just go back to S30 and watch the videos. Uh, for each topic, let's say for arrays, for binary trees, for DFS, for all those things, I'll choose like just 2 questions each, and just try to solve them, or something similar, along those lines. And but again, refreshing my concept, like in backtracking, you do action, you do this what is that,
Recursion,
recursion,
yeah.
then you do backtrack. Those two, just refresh those concepts in your brain, and yeah, just 2 questions each of each technique, and yeah, stay fresh before the interview,
All
or
right,
not
awesome,
the
awesome.
day
We are
before.
running out of time, so I'll take a couple of more questions. Lawan says, "What if you fail?"
What's that?
Doesn't it? What if you fail? You had your fair share of failures also, right? So what if you fail at, let's say, one of the big companies, let's say Amazon or Facebook? So they are going to put you into a freezing period. In your case, it might have been much more, right? More than 6 months or
Yeah,
1 year. So
yeah,
yeah, how's the process goes?
yeah. That happened with me actually. Amazon sent me an online assessment, and I actually talked to one of the engineers. He told me if you fail miserably or you do really bad, they freeze you for 6 months. And I think I was frozen for 6 months with Amazon. So I mean, yeah, I mean, failures are again, when you fail, it means you're doing something. Keep doing. Eventually, I think there is opportunities flowing left and right. So just be ready. I want to also mention this thing before we wrap up. Just be ready with your resume. Like Jaspinder and Soumya critiques your resume. You just be super ready with actionable resume with your numbers, and your impact resume. However he describes, with your GitHub, in your top repositories, and make your GitHub timeline as green as you can, because some recruiters, engineers, interviewers look at that. And LinkedIn, just make it as a crisp, clean, everything. So what I'm trying to say is, just be ready. Right opportunity is going to come to every single one of you. So if you're not ready, then it's your fault. But right opportunity will get to knock at your door, and be ready with all those things.
All right. All right. Your Thank you so much, Albert. It was such a great session having with you, and we are really inspired with your journey. And this is just the start of your successes, and hopefully, you will go even further. And how can the students contact you on
Uh,
Slack or LinkedIn? Uh, what do you prefer? Can I put your
uh,
LinkedIn in the channel?
yeah, LinkedIn I think is the best.
Okay, awesome.
I have one more suggestion. I think Jill also mentioned this. But if you organize like small study groups, that will be really, really, really helpful. So small group.
We did that. We did that. We have started doing it. We are okay. For everybody who is listening to this, feel free to make channels on it. You can add me also. Find your study buddies. In fact, I will say that we already have one group of students. They call themselves Googlers. So Jill was part of that. One of the students, she has got into Chinmay, she has got into Microsoft, and there are other news coming from that cohort as well. So that is a really great study group which has been. But feel free to do it on your Slack. You have the platform open for you. Find your study buddies from your cohort or from the cohort which is prior to you, and feel free to do it. And I think Jeeves batch used to, after going through the class, after going through their assignments, they used to spend a lot of time in that study group as well. In fact, they became roommates also. Right? They became roommates. The whole study group became roommates with each other. Courtesy of S30, they became roommates in Seattle now, and they keep growing. So. Probably once we have more resources, we'll start doing it in an organized manner. That okay, this is your study group, go it study in your group. But right now, if anybody wants to do it, just ping me. If you are not able to create a group, I will create it. All right. But that's a great suggestion, Albert. I've listened to that suggestion from Jill also, and Chinmay also, and Kajal also, all those students. So it is, students are free to do it any day. You can name that study group and as anything, Three Musketeers or Prodigies or something like that. But the crux of his point is that study in a group, even once you are done with your assignments or the classes, study in a group. That is very beneficial.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Albert, for having a conversation with. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And bye. Have fun. Great day.
Thank you, guys. Good luck, everyone.